Alright, so up here you'll see I was trying to find two halves of a debate. I was trying to find the 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 uploads of both people involved in the debate. Um I found the other half down here from Matt Powell, so I'll be doing that after this video. And but in the process, I found this one. I looked through the intro for a little bit. The intro, all he really says is atheists have what did he use as the wording? It was something excuses. And to call the valid um, rebuttals to your arguments excuses is very dishonest, and I have a feeling that he's gonna straw man argument all of these talking points. But let's get into it.
So I wanted to go ahead and give the top 3 evidences geologically of Noah's flood. The first one is just mountains. You can look at mountain ranges and see that they were formed catastrophically and very quickly through rapid plate tectonic shifts.
Okay. To say this is really stretching the word rapidly. Like really, really stretching it. He is saying that the mountains were formed in one quick go. That's not how that works. That's not how mountains form. And you can actually see that with modern technology. You can see that what is happening with the tectonic plates that caused the mountains to form is still happening. And it's happening very slowly. You can see year by year, if you measure the mountains, that mountains are either increasing or decreasing in height. They may be increasing because the tectonic plates that formed the mountains are still moving against each other, and causing that rise. And you can also see that they're slowly going down because of erosion. You can measure all this shit if you use science. I'm sorry if the video is a bit loud. I had to, because it's summer now. It's really hot. So I have multiple fans going in this room. And they're pretty loud. So I'm making sure that you guys can actually hear the video over the fans.
Now, if you notice the rock layers on these pictures, they are bent rock. Now, you cannot bend hard rock. And so what that means is that when these mountains were forming, that they were soft and moist, and this is sediment that was being laid down, and plate tectonics pushed it up.
Okay, so first of all, there are other kinds of rock other than sedimentary rock. And we can actually see that many like types of rock in mountains are not sedimentary rock. We can actually test that. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we know that the mountains did not form in one go. It wasn't like a catastrophic event. Do you have any evidence that it was a catastrophic event? Because turn it in, you'll get your Nobel Prize.
up into place, and then it solidified in that position. And so,
yeah, that's not how that works. Rock can bend underground. That's a thing that happens. In fact, that is caused by the moving of tectonic plates.
we see mountain ranges all over the United States and all over the world, in fact, of complete bent rock that shows that they formed very.
Okay, how do you think mountains form to begin with? Because the way mountains form is because the tectonic plates bump together and they keep going at each other, and then the rock bends upward. That's why you can see this here. That's why you can see this. Now, obviously, there are other geological formations that you can see, and those are caused by different kind of faults at tectonic plate edges.
Very rapidly. Now, if evolution were true, and according to the evolutionist perspective,
Okay, first of all, evolution says absolutely nothing about rocks. Quite literally, nothing about rocks. Okay, my cats are having a field day apparently. Absolutely nothing about rocks. So let's get that out of the way.
these mountains slowly formed through plate tectonics. Well, I'm sorry, the rocks simply would have crumbled, they would have broken, they would not have bent. Another reason that we know that the flood of Noah is a fact is because if you look at coal seams across.
Actually, fun fact, there is a type of rock that is bendable. There actually is. It exists. I forget what it's called. But it has like a string kind of structure which allows it to be bendable. It's really cool. Also, immense amount of pressure with no way to crack apart can bend rocks.
The world, sandwiched between the layers of sediment, you'll actually find that they contain identical amounts of carbon-14 inside of each one. Now, carbon-14 only lasts 50,000 years, so you would expect if
Is carbon-14 what I think it is? Yeah, you can't radiocarbon date rocks, idiot. Radiocarbon dating is a method that can only be used on organic materials. Rock is not organic material. Oh my fucking god. Idiot. Complete and utter idiot.
a layer formed slowly and another.
What do you mean? Because I want to know. Okay, now I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not gonna use that. Radio. Okay. What are you doing? Hey! Hey! Stop clawing the shit out of the wall. Dumbass cat. Because quickly it only works for rocks younger than about 50,000 years old. Okay. Okay. wait. Source of this. Okay. Alright, let me pull this up onto the screen. Why does it say... okay, maybe I used the wrong term. Carbon 14 existent rocks. Okay, then... why can carbon 14 dating okay. Okay. And... what do I want to ask next? Why can the same amount of carbon 14 be found different rock layers? Yeah, there's answers in Genesis. We're not using that. Oh, we've looked at this one before. Let's see. Is more than if these rocks... Oh, whoops, that's my subscriber count. Alright, so if these rocks that are under the mountains happen to have existed more than 50,000 years ago, which there's a very high chance of that, what's to say that you're not just getting fucking background radiation? What? Oh, there we go. What's to say you're not just getting background radiation, Matt Powell? Unless you tell me how you know there's carbon-14 in the fucking rocks in these mountains, I'm just gonna assume that what you were getting was background radiation, because that would also line up with how he is saying that there's equal amounts in all of these layers. If there's equal amounts, it's probably just the background radiation. Pretty much, like, that is the most, like, plausible explanation to that.
Layer forms slowly over millions of years, that you would actually find no carbon-14 in the bottom layers and less as you move up. But in the catastrophic plate tectonic flood model, you find, and you would predict, to find identical amounts of C14 in all.
Except they were never... Wait. Was he using exposed rock for that? Oh my god, you colossal fuckwit. Carbon-14 builds up because of exposure to the sun. Of course you're gonna find that they all have the same amount of carbon-14 in them because they've all been exposed to the sun for the same amount of time. Oh my god. Seriously? Oh my god, this guy's a fucking moron. Two entirely possible theories on how you got that measurement. Two entirely possible theories. You were using a bad fucking sample, or you didn't take into account the background radiation. Oh my god. Wow.
All of the coal seams sandwiched between the layers, and sure enough, that's what we find. It's identical amounts, which means that all of that is the same vegetation being laid down in one event.
God, he's so colossally stupid.
When the Earth was experiencing plate tectonic movements and the continents were moving and the fountains of the deep broke open, as the Bible says, we would predict that certain of the crust of the Earth would actually be subducted into the mantle and would cause catastrophic plate tectonic shifts. But those...
Okay, first of all, subducting plates do not cause shifts. The subducting plates are caused by the shifts. It's the other way around. Where the hell is this guy getting his information?
Those rocks, those slabs of cold rock, we would predict would still be in the hot mantle of the Earth.
Okay, subducting plates only happens when ocean plates and continental plates are pushing against each other. That doesn't happen in two continental plates rubbing up on each other, because two continental plates rubbing up on each other That's how mountains form. Also, there's volcanoes like you saw in the subducting plates, obviously. But, I mean, like, dude, you gotta actually research what you're talking about, what you're trying to disprove.
Interestingly enough, NASA had done scans on the Earth and found that there are humongous slabs of cold rock that have sunk down into the Earth. And so you have gigantic...
I have no idea what his point here or what he really means by that, because he quote mined the fuck out of that quote, so I don't know what the context for that quote is.
Slabs of cold rock that go 400 or even 500 miles down into the mantle towards the core. And so keep in mind, it's very hot there. Well, why do we find gigantic cold slabs of rock that have not heated up?
That's what he means. That's what he means. Okay. You gotta remember that the Earth is fucking massive. How far down is that? That's about 600 or so kilometers. How thick is Earth's crust? Alright. It's been a while since my environmental science class, so what specifically is the Earth's mantle? Okay, so, first off, yeah, it goes down further than the crust, but the mantle is not, like, all liquid lava. It's not, like, there are solid parts of the mantle. And if you look, the further down, because the hotter it gets, the more you see that this is starting to melt. The more it's starting to get blurrier and blurrier. What is this down here? Oh, is this just the amount, like, hotter and cooler? Is that what that is? I think that's what that is. Yeah, this is a little bit out of my depth, I'm gonna be honest. Because I don't have any formal training in this. I took one environmental science class. But if you really look down here, is like not even 25% into the mantle, and right here is where it's actually like starting to melt and become the same temperature as the mantle. And you can see as this is obviously the lava that's coming up from the mantle from this being melted down. What hell are these white dots? I have no idea what these white dots are.
Over the evolutionary timescale of millions of years and become uniform with the temperature in the Earth's mantle? Well, the fact is that 4,500 years ago approximately, there was a flood.
How fast does subducting ocean crust travel? Okay, so about 6 centimeters per year. How of the Earth? 1,000 degrees Celsius. What is the melting point of oceanic crust? Okay, so oceanic crust, it says here it can melt at as high as 13,000 Celsius, and right here it says near to the crust it's about 1,000 degrees Celsius. Let's see. 1 Fahrenheit for every 70 feet. So that's about, let's say, maybe about 10 Fahrenheit, give or take, increase over the, like, close to 10 Fahrenheit increase over that time, over the fucking...
Where the facts of years and become
600 feet deep, about. Looks like it's about halfway through there. It makes sense that it would only start to melt all of the crust around there. In fact, I think it... Oh, wait. For every 70 feet, how many kilometers is that? 70... Oh, every 70 feet. Okay, that's not... Okay. 70... Okay. Feet... 2 meters. Wait. So that's... Calculator... So we're gonna do 700 kilometers, and a kilometer, I believe, is 1,000 feet, or 1,000 meters. So that times 1,000, and then divide that by... Fuck, I haven't done math in a hot minute. 700,000 meters, give or take. Multiply that by about 3, and divide that by 70. Whew, goddamn. 30,000. Is that really? Goddamn. 30,000 degrees Fahrenheit to Celsius. Why it didn't pop up. Okay. Whew! Goddamn. So, all things considered, it should start melting around here, which is actually what you see. You kind of see it getting like melted more, and it starts bubbling up to the surface here, and then the more like the parts of it that have a higher melting point are melting down here. Whew, goddamn.
Uniform with the temperature in the Earth's mantle. Well, the fact is that 4,500 years ago approximately, there was a flood where the fountains of the deep were broken open, and a process known as subduction happened where the crust of the Earth went down into the mantle and created mountains and earthquakes and catastrophic plate tectonics. And we would
Okay, but that only explains, so first of all, once again, subduction does not cause plate tectonics. That's not how that works. Second, you only explained how the igneous rock mountains were formed via volcanoes. You haven't explained how the continental crust on continental crust mountains happened.
Predict that those cold slabs of rock would still be there today. That can only be explained by Noah's flood.
Okay, let's do a little bit of math again. It was about 6 centimeters. 6 centimeters a year, if I remember correctly. 6 centimeters a year. Let's get calculator back up. If you got 6 centimeters a year, right? You got 6 centimeters a year, and then you take what was that? What, it was like 700 kilometers, I think. 700 kilometers. So let's start with that. Let's start with 700 kilometers, or was it 7,000? Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's go 700. I think it was 700. 700 kilometers. Multiply that by 1,000 for meters. Multiply. Oh, fuck. Yeah, there we go. So 700,000 meters. And then we're going to multiply that by 3, about, roughly, to get feet. So we got feet. And then, oh, you know what? Centimeters is metric, so I could just do 700 times 1,000 times 1,000. Right? I can do that, right? I think so. Then you get 700 million. Now, divide that by 6, so per year. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 100 million years. 100 million years and change. Pretty sure the young Earth creationism model doesn't account for 100 million years.
blood and by what the Bible says when it told us that the fountains of the deep were broken open. So
and actually, let me expand upon that, because it would have to go, let's say, divide by, so it would have to be, how many zeros would I have to get rid of? They say it was about, let's cut it down to, so, it would have to be 10,000 times faster throughout all of that time for you to get down to even double as much time as the as the young Earth creationist model presents. So let's pop out another calculator. Let's pop out another calculator. And whoops, fat fingered it. All right, let's do. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So it would have to be 20,000 times 6. So it would have to be that many centimeters. It would have to be that many centimeters. So about 120 meters. If you divide that by 1,000. About 120 meters per year, every year. Not to mention, tectonic plates move in different directions over time. They don't just move in one direction for all of time on this planet.
these are undeniable pieces of evidence. People can deny certain things, but there are certain things that are undeniable. People can attack certain positions, but I'm sorry, if you're an evolutionist, your position is indefensible.
He said absolutely nothing about evolution this whole time. So to attack evolutionists in a video that doesn't pertain to them is pretty shitty.
What we see in the past is catastrophic events actually creating what we see today. These mountains that were formed by bent rock layers, yeah, that had to have taken place all in one event. You have identical amounts of C14 inside of coal seams all throughout the world. That means that that's the same vegetation all being laid down in one event. This is undeniable evidence. Only those who deny the facts.
He has given absolutely no evidence. Just to recap, because he is recapping, so he has given no evidence. Absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, I have been really going on tangents, Googling shit, and actually doing the math. So yeah, go fuck yourself, Matt Powell.
Will deny this evidence. And those who seek the truth will grab onto these pieces of evidence and use them to defend their faith.
I'm moving on to a new video after this.